Gujarat Titans, again a franchise that's been immensely successful. In fact, statistically, the most successful in the IPL of all time. The very debut season that they had, which was 2022, they were captained by Hardik Pandya, somebody who was a superstar already, who had been surprisingly released by the Mumbai Indians and then acquired by the Gujarat Titans, named the captain. No expectations from him. A franchise that didn't have very big names, a franchise that wasn't expected to do as well. While the other new franchise, Lucknow, was expected to do much better. But what transpires is that Gujarat somehow manages to win all the tough games and finally lifts the trophy. Hardik Pandya is now being seen as a very successful captain and a future India captain as well. 2023, they almost repeat the same. They reach the final, they almost win it, only if it weren't for those two deliveries from Mohit Sharma, in which Ravindra Jadeja scored a 6 and a 4 and won it for CSK at the very last moment. Nevertheless, Gujarat Titans reaching 2 finals in 2 years is phenomenal. So a lot of legacy behind in just these 2 years that Shubman Gill, the new captain, has to take forward. There are a lot of expectations from him. He's a superstar in the making. If Virat Kohli is called the king, he is being termed the prince of not only Indian cricket but world cricket at large. So I think a lot of expectations from him, not only as a batsman but as a captain, because he's leading this franchise that's won their inaugural season, that was the runner-up in the second season, and now the third season they again have to reach the final at least in order to give some kind of competition to the legacy Hardik Pandya has left behind. So I think when you look at Shubman Gill, the batter, he's looked good. He's been able to provide those starts, but he has to convert these cameos and starts into big performances, because we know what he did last year, right? He wreaked havoc with a bat. If there's any batter in any year of the IPL who's come even near what Virat Kohli did in the 2016 edition, which was absolute madness, it is Shubman Gill's performance in IPL 2023. I think he was outstanding. 300s and almost a fourth one, and all match-winning performances, phenomenal strike rates, excellent shots. And he was an absolute not only match winner but tournament winner for the Gujarat Titans. Now he has to he of course may not be able to replicate it completely, but he has to reach at least 75% of that ability, that performance, in order for his franchise to do well. You then look at Sai Sudarshan, who walks in at 3, who had a good IPL last year, who played that gem of an innings against the Chennai Super Kings. And I think with Sai Sudarshan at 3, that provides a lot of stability to the middle order, to the batting lineup as a whole, because he's a solid batter. He's technically strong. He's got all the shots. And I know there's been a lot of chatter there's been a bit of criticism about the strike rate at which he's played, but I'm sure he will work on the strike rate. As the season progresses, he will start hitting as well, because he's got the shots, he's got the ability to attack. When you look at the rest of the middle order, especially the lower middle order, I think that's a big concern, because they've got the likes of David Miller, who's a big name in world cricket but hasn't lived up to that name in the IPL at least. There's Azmatullah Omarzai, who's been acquired as a like-for-like replacement for Hardik Pandya. He too is a seam bowling all-rounder, but so far, neither with the ball nor with the bat has he looked even close to what Hardik Pandya did for the Gujarat Titans. They have Vijay Shankar, who honestly hasn't done anything that's even average in the last few years. And at number 7, they have Rahul Tewatia, who's been this magical finisher, who has this knack of winning those tight games that are almost a lost cause till a point. And he somehow manages to put his hand up, hit those few 6s, 2 6s and 2 balls, for example, and win games that are considered to be completely out of grip for them. But even for that to happen, he would need some kind of a launch pad, which has to be provided by the rest of the middle order, which so far hasn't looked promising at all. Talking of the bowling, I think Sai Kishore, the left arm spinner, has been very impressive. I found him very good, and I think he's superbly talented. The way he bowled against Mumbai Indians on that slow wicket in Ahmedabad, a big stadium, big ground, and he used it to his advantage completely. He was almost unplayable. Got the big wicket of Rohit Sharma as well. But we'll have to see how he does on wickets that aren't slow, on quick wickets, on smaller grounds. If he's able to cope up well, I think he's going to be a top performer with the ball for Gujarat. They have got Mohit Sharma. This Mohit Sharma, who has played a World Cup for India, who then completely vanished. Turned up as a net bowler for Gujarat in 2022. In 2023, he was brought in. And what did he do? He created magic out of thin air. He picked up 27 wickets and was completely instrumental in almost winning Gujarat the title for a second consecutive time. Unfortunately, those two phenomenal hits from Jadeja took it away from him, but I think he was magical. And for Gujarat to do well, he has to replicate his performance of 2023, which will not be an easy task at all. I think the two Afghanis, which is Rashid Khan and Azmatullah Omarzai, have to really work hard to live up to the expectations. Rashid Khan so far hasn't lived up to his expectations at all. He hasn't looked dangerous, and he is a bowler with such reputation, right? When you look at the best all-time spinner in T20 cricket, I think he is there at number one. He has certainly surpassed Sunil Narayan, but he has to live up to that reputation. Omarzai, on the other hand, has to pull up his socks and truly perform as an all-rounder. The big cause of concern with the ball is Umesh Yadav and Spencer Johnson. These two bowlers, I believe, have the potential to be hammered all across the ground. Umesh Yadav, of course, we've seen a lot, and I think the only way they can handle Umesh Yadav is to have him bowl 2 overs with the new ball and then not bowl at all. And Spencer Johnson, I think they'll have to use very strategically in the middle overs in order to ensure that he doesn't get hit. So these two bowlers have to be very well managed because they both have the potential to be very, very expensive. Overall, I think this is a side that can certainly make it to the top 4. I think the 4th spot, if they do exceedingly well, if their middle order somehow manages to score runs, manages to contribute, if Shubman Gill replicates somewhat of his last year's performance, and if the rest of the bowling lineup also responds to their call, I think they can do well. But unless all of this happens together, I think it's going to be very difficult. 5th or 6th spot is where I think they'll end. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.